Konnichiwa, Genki desu ka everyone, it's me Ryo96, and today I'm here, just to give a little update, and by that little update, talk about something that's been on my mind lately. Um, so first off, I'm going back to college, so I'm actually in college now, trying to get my at least an A plus certificate and go to IT management and stuff like that. But later on, what I want to do is, coding and building websites and stuff like that. But this is just temporary for me to, reach the next step and save enough money and do all that other stuff. But when you think about college and you think about your future, you're applying to university and you've been studying all this time trying to get good marks, good grades throughout preschool and higher education, whatever, high school, middle school, stuff like that. You get your GED. And when you think about it, it's a very scary concept because you're spending your whole life, like your beginning years, trying to pick out what you want to be when you grow up, and it's a very tough choice, and you have to ask yourself, well, do I really want this? Am I spending the money, my money or my parents' money or money from like the sky? I don't know, the sky's money. Am I spending this money to, do something that I really want to do? And it's a very tough decision, and and it's just something that, I don't know, crosses my mind once in a while. And as you progress through things such as your fears and your thoughts, and it quickly changes into, well, I've felt this before. Where have I felt this before? And I'm basically just talking to you guys here because, I don't know, fear can be explained in many definitions or in a single definition for some people. So, I don't know, I just wanted to talk, and, as I'm talking to myself, but not really myself, but to you guys, I'm thinking out loud, and I don't know, I think that maybe, I don't know, this time I could get responses on what you guys think, what your fear is, stuff like that. So, when I think about this fear of college, it brings me straight back to, when I was younger and I used to be terrified of heights, and I am still scared of heights. But when I was younger, when I was growing up, my father had a great ability of just pushing me to do things that I didn't really like to do. So sometimes involving, getting up on high things and dealing with it, and then realizing, oh shit, I'm up in a high place later on in the day. But it got me to thinking, like, why am I really afraid of heights and some people are not? And it basically devolves into, like, I'm not scared of how high I am, it's just how scared, like, how, like, I'm gonna die as I fall. Like, I'm scared of the height where I fall from, you know what I mean? Like, when I die, I just go, on the ground. So, I don't know. For me, it was that, and I realized that when I was younger. Like, I'm not scared of the height. I'm scared of the fall. And then you start thinking of, like, all your other fears, like, like supernatural stuff. Why am I scared of ghosts or monsters or boogeyman? And I think, for me anyways, it was not that I was scared of them themselves, or, like, I mean, the looks didn't help, but I wasn't scared of the fact of themselves. I was just scared of not understanding why they do things, or why they like to do the things they do, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. Like, it's very, I don't know, for me, I like to break things down and then put it back together. And I guess when, like, everyone has a fear, when, like, I don't know, most kids have fears when they're gonna die or stuff like that. And when I was younger, I used to be very terrified of dying. It was to the point where I used to like literally sweat in the middle of the night, like be scared and like worried and like stress myself out over hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, I don't know, any firestorms, stuff like that. Like suddenly the whole town or city just caught ablaze. And where I live in New England. I live in a place where you don't have to really be scared of earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, but they're not really that bad when they reach up here. And it's more of the cold, and I really love the cold, so that was never a problem with me. But I don't know. For me, when I was younger, I was always terrified, and I was terrified. Again, I broke it down. I was terrified not of the natural catastrophes, but of how I would be killed in those natural catastrophes. Like, I always thought earthquake would open up a big chasm in the ground, and I would just fall through, trying to rip my way back up. And hurricane, I would just get swept off, and tornado, I would just get pulled into the sky, stuff like that. And now, when you think about it, like, when you think about all these little things, like, some stuff, like the supernatural stuff, like the acrophobia, for me, it's still a real thing. I don't know why, but if I have careful balance, I shouldn't be really scared, which I have superb balance. But for the supernatural stuff, it was a little hard for me to swallow, especially in the recent years. Because for me, I was never a big fan of scary movies, scary games. I would hate doing anything like that. Halloween bores me because I'm not into like scaring people and stuff like that. Halloween is my least favorite holiday. But there was a time when I was younger where in my sister's room, which was across the hall from my parents' room, I was always in the corner of the house, like at the far end. So I was like on my own, like past the kitchen. But across from my parents' room, where we all stay at the night, there was a radio that was battery powered, and there was no batteries in it. And the radio suddenly turned on and started tuning itself. And I'm a man of like proofs and hypotheses and stuff like that. Like, I like to have the hard science facts, but honestly, sure, I had nothing. No, sure. And I think that's what scared me the most about the supernatural thing. I just don't understand. And for to like hear that when you're younger, and to think about like, oh, a monster's in the room across the hall and stuff like that, it's a very scary thing. For me anyways, when I was younger. But I digress. But again, when you're looking at the fears and everything, I think for college, for me, like, to sum this all up, the reason why I'm scared of college, and because I already went to another university and I didn't do so well because of things that were bothering me about, certain things that were happening in life, yada yada yada. So I basically flunked out of that. But now when I'm going back, it's not me that I'm worried about my future. It's more worried about I'm failing and not contributing back into my time that I spent as a child studying and getting those really good marks and working my butt off to get recognized. And to like, I think to spend all that time when you're younger, like the focus, the homework, the projects, the reports. For me, if I don't do anything with my life now, that's the biggest waste of my time ever. And I think that's what scares me more, that I basically just wasted my time and I just screwed myself over when I could have. If I was going to lead this life of just working labor, then I might as well just have not really focused well in school. But again, this is how my mind worked. I like to tear things apart and just put it back together. And for me, I don't know if it's just me, how that feels for me. You know what I mean? So again, this is not just me telling you. We're all human. We all learn, we all evolve. Our mind is so awesome. It just switches, like, not, it molds, it just transforms. Every new idea just makes a new wrinkle in it, basically, I think. You know, I'm not into the brain, like, science of it, but it's, our brain is not like a computer that so many scientists or people like to believe. There's a high esteemed group of people that, you know, think the brain is malleable. It's ever changing. It never stops. And for me, I think I'm glad that part of the brain is not, like, I'm glad that part of our body is just always looking for a change and are willing to accept change sometimes. I'm not a big fan of changes and stuff like that. I don't like when, like, our traditions change and stuff like that. But then again, when you think about it, at the end of the day, it's you can easily just change what you want tradition to be, and you can start your own. So yeah. I'm just going on a tangent here, but basically my point was that this is not just a one-ended thing. I'm not always right. I'm still learning, and we're all still learning, and we'll never stop learning. And that's why I'm here asking you guys this question. Like, not really a question, just how do you feel about stuff like that too? Do you worry about the things like that? And it's more like a release, kind of, for not just for me, but for anyone else out there who listens to this video and might think the same way or think differently or stuff like that. So if you want, you can, you know, comment what you think, what I said, or you can just comment on what you fear. I'm always interested in how people's interaction with the world is different from mine, and one of them is fear. So if you have different fears from me, or the same fears even, just for different reasons, just let me know. Comment. Again, this is not just me talking and you listen. It's everyone being involved. So, but yeah, thanks for listening to this, like, I don't know, 13 minute tangent. But yeah, thank you again for listening. It's been Ryo96, guys. And I'll see you later. Take it easy. Have a good day. Stay safe. All the good things in the world to you. Yeah. Matane.